Well, good morning, everybody. And this morning's inspiration for the day, my guidepost, is based on a poem that I've written this year. My very first poem of 2022, written on New Year's Day. It's called Stepping Out of the Room. The zeitgeist all pervading entice you to believe in a reality manufactured by someone else's greed. The leaders and the media, all the corporates worldwide, would keep you in fear forever, whilst behind their smiles they'd hide. Your universe does not revolve around their fading stars. You were sent here for a purpose. For this you came so far. In the moment, just accept what is. Trust that beyond the gloom, a plan was made for your life that you'll see when you stepped outside of the room. Go beyond your mind, look into your heart, become conscious and aware of the depth and breadth and height of your calling to be found there. So stop looking outside of yourself for direction, for answers, and for life. For these things are found inside you. Follow your heart and end the strife. So we've talked in the thought for the day about stepping outside the room before, and I wanted to write a poem that would sum up why I think it's important that people do learn how to step outside of the room. And when you hear a piece of music, it's actually not the notes that make the music, but the space between the notes that makes the music. Unless there was space between the notes and all the notes were played on top of each other, it'd just be a jumbled mess. And when you read a book, it isn't the words on the page that make the ink on the page that makes the story that you're reading. It's the space between the letters, the blank page that makes sense of it all. And stepping outside of the room is a bit like that. It's stepping out of all the ink, all the blackness, I've got black screen behind me today. Stepping out of the blackness and going into the white, yeah? And when you go outside of the room, it's like going into the blankness of the paper without the ink. And it's not jumbled up. There's not anything to, there's not a cacophony of sound one note on top of another. It's where you can breathe, where you can actually consider what your life's about, rather than when you're on the page, when you're in the room, when you're playing the notes of the music without any spaces between them. That's like the zeitgeist. It's the constant stream of information that's coming from the media. It's coming from the leaders of the country that you live in, or the leaders at your place of work, or it's coming from the corporates, the advertisers. They're telling you what you should think, what you should believe. And when you step outside of them, when you go onto the blankness, where you've got perspective, you can see what's happening. And it gives you awareness, it gives you awakeness. And that's why world religions, they pray and they meditate, because that gives them the space to be able to have the silence of the clearness, the clarity of the empty page, and for your spirit, your higher self, to speak to you, to convey messages to you, to let you know not what the leaders of the world and the media and the corporate entities want you to be thinking about and want you to be doing in your life, but it's to enable you to find out what it is that your calling is. You've come a long way to to live this human life. I believe we all lived before in the oneness, and that's where we're going back to. But right now, in this 3D, 4D reality, we have a calling. We have some special mission that we were brought here to do, and it's got nothing to do with the media. It's got nothing to do with the leaders of our world, of our country, of our locality. It's got nothing to do with the leaders of industry. It's got nothing to do with the corporates. It's to do with your higher calling, what your higher self, what the universe, what source energy has sent you here to individuate as no longer part of the oneness, but as an individual. What is it that you're here to provide us with, to bring? What are you bringing into the mix? And so you have to go beyond thinking. You've got to go beyond all the thoughts that are being put inside your head by someone other than you. The mind is there for you to be able to understand and comprehend stuff that's going on around you, to reason things through. But the pit of your stomach, your gut reaction, that's where deep speaks to deep, as the Old Testament talks about. And so when you find that calling, when you are aware of what it is you're here to do, then all the other noise is off, because that's all they are. All the stuff that's going on in the human world that isn't to do with you. You have no impact, no way of influencing the decisions that are being made in the human world. You have, as a creator with a small c, you've come here to do your service to God. That's what Wayne Dyer talks about. You've come from NOWHERE, nowhere, to NOW space HERE, now, here, and then you're going to go back to NOWHERE, nowhere. And here you are in this parenthesis of time, and that's your service to the universe, to the creator, to God. So we need clarity in our lives. If you don't know what you're here for, then you really need to have that silence. You need to step out of the room. You need to find out what you're supposed to be doing here on a moment by moment basis. If you're not sure what to do right now, this moment, just go quiet, meditate, ask your higher self, please tell me, what am I supposed to be doing now? And then you live a life of purpose. Then you live a life with a smile on your face, because you know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, not what others have told you to do, whether it's your family or your friends or your boss at work. Your life is about you. It's about bringing your energy, energy into the room. But to be able to do that, you need to step out of the room first. So I'm going to read my poem again, and then that will be the end of the broadcast. So stepping out of the room. The zeitgeist, all-pervading, enticed you to believe in a reality manufactured by someone else's greed. The leaders and the media, all the corporates worldwide, would keep you in fear forever, whilst behind their smiles they'd hide. Your universe does not revolve around their fading stars. You were sent here for a purpose. For this you came so far. In the moment, just accept what is. Trust that beyond the gloom, a plan was made for your life that you'll see when you step outside the room. Go beyond your mind. Look into your heart. Become conscious and aware of the depth and breadth and height of your calling to be found there. So stop looking outside of yourself for direction, for answers, and for life. For these things are found inside you. Follow your heart and end the strife. Namaste.